All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. I want to jump into a lesson that will be a continuation of yesterday's lesson, which was entitled "This Isn't Going to End Well" or "This doesn't end good" or something along those lines. And it was concerning the migrants and the new gun laws that have been opened up to them, allowing them the freedom and the opportunity to own guns without actually being U.S. citizens. And that's going to cause a stir. We can expect a lot more of this coming down the road, just because, again, the orchestrated collapse of American society is upon us. All right, and make no mistake about it, it is orchestrated. All right, this new world order system has to be implemented, and what we're living in and how it's functioning and how it's operating has to be brought down first before the new system can be implemented and working on all cylinders. All right, and we believe through the power of Yahawah that this migrant crisis has a lot to do with it. Has a lot to do with this orchestrated collapse that's on the horizon. Okay, so this is a news article from the New York Post. It says over 100 migrants break through razor wire, knock down guards as they illegally cross El Paso border in wild scene. Okay, so 100 migrants down there in El Paso, Texas. They got through the barbed wire, the razor wire, to illegally cross into the country. Now, this is something that has been going on for some time now with the razor wire. They were trying to figure out this is something that they wanted to put up so that the migrants couldn't get over, or if they just wanted to send in more troops and National Guard, law enforcement, to help combat all of the migrants that were coming to the border. And these are the things that we're seeing on a daily basis. Now, again, it all goes back to what we've tried to establish for some time now, okay? Which is, and I'll mention it again, which is that this is being orchestrated. All right, I'm going to read some of this. All right, it says a group of over 100 migrants attempted to enter into the U.S. illegally by rushing a border wall Thursday, breaking through razor wire and knocking over guards in the process. All right. The Post had earlier witnessed around 600 migrants amassed at the international border as part of a spring surge of migrants arriving and hoping to gain access to the U.S. Okay, so obviously that's their hope. That's what they're looking to do, and they're really looking, by any means necessary to make that happen. It says the Texas National Guard was attempting to organize them into smaller groups, but the situation grew tense after some women and children were separated from adult males by the guardsmen. Who really knows the agenda behind that as well? There's a lot of trafficking going on, and separating families. That could be something that people look at to feed the trafficking operation. Okay, look, Esau Edom is so wicked, man. There's just so much to look at. There's so much to consider, so much to be watchful for, because this man truly has possession and has reign and authority over everything in these times. Even articles that we read, the propaganda, the news, all of this stuff is bought and paid for by the banking elites, who basically own every damn thing. And do you have to be watchful? Because you gotta, you don't know who and what to trust. All right, I'll just put it like that. I'm gonna keep reading here. It says the Texas National Guard were attempting to organize them in smaller groups, but the situation grew tense after some women and children were separated from the adult males in the guardsmen. Video taken by the Post shows one set of migrants, mostly single men, then rushing the Texas troops. A group of men with hoodies, gloves, and winter jackets could be seen pulling fencing away and dashing through the concertina wire as a group of 5 guards formed a defense position to fill the gap. All right, so that's just basically the gist of it. You get it. I want to grab a quick scripture, okay? Because again, I'll say it again. Things will get worse before they get better. We believe that as a result of these migrants, it will, lead to, these cities being basically torn apart because of, what seems to be like, these migrants being taken care of in terms of, food supplies, places to stay and live, a shelter, access to medical care, and even access to jobs and access to guns. Now, it's so much going on that needs to be considered here. I mean, what's it's gonna be chaos, man. It's so much to look at. Like chaos, it doesn't even do it. It doesn't even do it justice. You know what I mean? 2nd Ezra 15-14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and the swords in their hands. Yeah, sword and destruction draweth nigh. Okay? Verse 16. For this shall be sedition among men, and debating one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall shall stand in their powers. So there should be a sedition among men, which that's that chaos, and that's running down on one another for lack of bread and lack of, what you have. So this is going to be a reality at some point, Lord willing, some point soon. It says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, representing martial law, right, and representing all this law enforcement that we see. And even we could see it on a small scale. You look at New York City subways at this time, and how they have deployed the more police presence, National Guard, Army, things of that nature, because they're gonna start steering people towards where they can and cannot go. All right, shutting down cities, and making it so you can't move about the way you want. All right, verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Yeah, because when there's no access to food, water, clothing, medicine, and there's sedition among men, there's chaos and there's purge-like situations happen right out your doorstep, in the neighborhood, everywhere, and everywhere. Once that starts taking place, these cities shall be troubled big time, in more ways than we can even imagine, because Jacob's trouble is not going to be anything that we've ever experienced, anything that we've ever seen, anything that our minds could actually fathom. It's going to be pretty bad. All right. Verse 19 said, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, so no pity upon his neighbor. When these migrants come to visit your city and they don't have anything to gain or to lose, hey man, lock your doors and your windows, man. Lock your doors, board up your windows, because that savage mentality is going to be something to behold. And Lord willing, us hopeful men of the elect, servants of YAHAWASHI, we get to get covered from this stuff, man. Right? That's the hope and that's the prayer. Okay? When you look and see what's happening with these migrants, they believe and trust in America so much that they're willing to risk their families, their lives, their freedoms to get over here. Okay, but they don't know what's over here. They don't know what's over there. They don't know what they don't know what to anticipate. I mean, they're just thinking that this is the land of opportunity, and we can make the best of things if we make it up to America. That's not necessarily the case. All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30. And verse 1, it says, Isaiah 30:1, it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord YAHWASHI, that take counsel, but not of me, and that covereth with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." Verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. And that's the point I wanted to make. Trusting in the shadow. This is trusting in the shadow of Egypt. You see these images here. Okay, all these migrants trying to get across the border, being handled and controlled by, National Guard or military or whatever, law enforcement agency they're with. You see families riled up in the spirit, man. They riled, their spirits are riled up by YAHWASHI to make things happen and to cause chaos and to cause confusion, uncertainty. And here we are with that. Okay. It says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of your Egypt your confusion." So this is the confusion they try to play on people's emotions when they say see images like this. When we, it's man, it's trusting in the shadow of Egypt in these last days is going to be your worst bet. That's going to be the worst thing that you can possibly do, trusting in what this man has to offer, trusting in his word and what he has to say, because they get off, people really believe in the American dream, and that whole thing has, first of all, it was never a thing. But secondly, those people who bought into that, it really hasn't been like that in America in a very long time. Okay, this is not the place to come to prosper. Okay, and that's the spirit of the Heavenly Father doing that to this place. So you can't trust in the shadow of Egypt like the scriptures say. That's because that's going to be your confusion. Okay, and I'll just grab one more real quick just to drive home the point. Bring this out all the time. This is the book of Micah. Oh yeah, Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. Micah 2 and 10 says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." So we have to remember, man, to that this is not our rest. This is not our rest by any means. Okay, our rest doesn't come until the kingdom of heaven, and that's just the truth, man. That's just the truth of the matter. So we have to arise and depart spiritually from America, Babylon the Great, because it doesn't have anything beneficial to offer us. This is not our rest, man. Our rest comes from YAHWASHI. Point blank period. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. That's why, because it's polluted, right? Especially for us believers, man. This is, where the scriptures talk about being cleansed, man. Being cleansed by the word.
All right, but this place is polluted, and you don't want to partake. Okay, because it shall destroy you. That's the only thing America, Babylon the Great has to offer you is destruction. All right, even with the sword destruction. So, um, again, this is just a follow-up lesson to the one I did yesterday, last night, concerning these migrants and the state of it and where we're headed, which we believe is martial law. But as always, I hope we're edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, who well, peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.